let's talk about some brands I don't get. By that I mean brands that have like a large fan base, but I, for whatever reason, don't really understand why people buy into them, or at least for me, I don't have much interest in them. That's not to say these brands are bad or like I hate them or anything. Just that even though I've looked at them a number of times, I just have no interest for one reason or another. And so basically this is gonna be a video full of my own ignorance, but that's where you come in. I want you, if you're a fan of these brands, I want you to sound off in the comments and tell me what I'm missing. Because I genuinely think like there are some brands that I've had like no interest in and then seen like one piece and I've been kind of like keyed into it. Like, okay, I see the vision. So if you're a fan, you know, let me know. Or conversely, if you have brands that you also don't get, sound off. Just meant to be a bit of fun though. If you like these brands, again, no hate, no shade. Before I get into it though, if you haven't, please do subscribe to the channel. It really helps me out and I appreciate it. And leave a like, why not? But let's start off. I mentioned this in the last video I did that I was thinking of doing this video, and the brand that I kind of focused on at the time was Drake's. Admittedly, I don't know a ton about Drake's. I do see their name come up again and again. Also, I should say, part of me like not getting these brands is that I've never, as far as I know, never purchased anything from any of them. So there is that level of ignorance to it as well. But so Drake's comes up, especially in like more general male fashion subs. It's less like a haute couture, like luxury brand, and more of like a nice menswear brand, like a Ralph Lauren purple label, something like that. I guess what I don't get about it is the pieces seem very basic. I'm sure they're made really well. I'm sure they have really great materials, but at the end of the day, a lot of it just looks like, hey, here's a Oxford cloth button-down shirt for $350. No one will know that you spent $350 on it, but you'll know, and that'll be a nice little secret you can keep in your pocket. Like again, like to me, sometimes, at least if you're gonna flex and spend like a bunch of money on like a Celine button down or something like that, at least it's got a little logo on it. And I know how that sounds, and I'm sure there's gonna be people being like, you shouldn't need a logo. It's true, but I guess what I'm saying is like, there are much lower price point basic shirts that you could get that I'm sure are made just fine, that don't have a crazy logo or whatever, that would do the job. So I'm not sure what's compelling people to look into like Drake's in particular, even when it's a piece that's like outside of the norm a little bit, like it has some character to it. I still don't quite get it. Again, every time a Drake's lookbook gets like posted in a male fashion sub or something like that, there's at least one or two comments that are like, man, those pants are sick. Or like, that jacket is incredible. And I'll look at it and I'll be like, that is one of the jackets of all time. Do you know what I mean? Like, it's fine, but I would never like look twice at it. And certainly if I walked past a dude walking down the street, head-to-toe Drake's, it would be like the meme of like, they don't know I spent, you know, $2,000 on this outfit. I would literally think that you like thrifted most of it, or you just, you know, it was your grandpa's clothes. Again, no shade. I'm gonna make some enemies with this video, I feel like. Again, maybe I should just like buy a piece from Drake's, but I have no interest in it. That's the problem. If you love Drake's, let me know. Again, I'll try and like flash up some imagery on here just to show what I'm talking about, but just kind of doesn't do it for me. I think a couple of these brands are gonna be in a similar space to that, okay? So I will say this, of the brands that I don't get, the one I have most considered would be the next one that I consider to be in a similar space to like Drake's, which is Todd Snyder. I have come the closest to buying stuff from Todd Snyder, and there are some pieces on the site or whatever that I've looked at and been like, yeah, I could buy that, because I'm an old school J. Crew head, you know. I love me some J. Crew still. And I think Todd Snyder was like the creative director of J. Crew at some point, back when it was really popping. Like he kind of revitalized it a little bit. If I'm wrong, I'll correct myself. But every time I go to like buy something from Todd Snyder, I'm like, oh yeah, that's a cool cardigan or whatever. Why is it $200 more than it should be? You know, again, with the pedigree of like kind of J. Crew, like let's say it's nicer J. Crew, I still would expect the prices to be like a little bit less than that. And I still hear people like bring up Todd Snyder as like a viable like option for kind of just regular dudes who are into fashion. And I'm like, if I'm not willing to spend that much on them, I don't understand why anyone who's just like casually into fashion would. I buy stupid shit. Just a weird one for me. Like I would just buy the J. Crew stuff. Again, I'm sure it's made better, but interestingly enough, when I do see Todd Snyder brought up a lot of times, it's a lot of people saying like, yeah, I've been disappointed in Todd Snyder clothes lately, or I bought some stuff and it hasn't been that good. Like, I don't know that the quality is actually there. It certainly doesn't seem like it's worth the price of admission. But let me know, what's your experience with Todd Snyder? And then along these lines, maybe the king of this phenomenon is the Row. I think the Row is like a common brand that a lot of people don't get, so I'm kind of just hopping on the bandwagon here. But every once in a while, just to give myself a laugh, I'll just like look up some pieces from the Row and look at the prices and be like, huh. Like you guys ever send like pieces to your friends who are maybe not as into fashion and be like, look at this, isn't this silly? And I'll do that sometimes. I'll find like a polo or something from the Row and just be like, would you spend $1,200 on this? The answer is no. Let's just look up some pieces. Okay, we're looking in outerwear to give them a good shot, because I feel like if I look up just like shirts, again, I'm just gonna get like basic stuff. But I don't know. You tell me, what am I missing? Because this is a Zomo coat in cashmere. It's like a overcoat, top coat, whatever. Cashmere, great, sure. $8,500. My word. And again, like, not to be a broken record here, but like any of these, you catch me walking down the street in them, I would think like, that sure is a nice Macy's coat. Not, maybe that's being too mean. I'm sure the cut is immaculate, but like, it's the Row is the ultimate if you know brand, and that only goes so far for me. Just for fun, I am gonna look at the t-shirts to mock them. $720 for a cotton t-shirt, black t-shirt. Come now. $750 for a long sleeve. Bro, if you're buying this, like, okay, I know it's not for me and my fellow poors, but this is some Mark Zuckerberg-ish. You know what I mean? I don't know. Just silly. It's just silly. And then finally, honorary mention, I guess, Loro Piana. I feel like I've beaten this to death, but like, they're another one of those kind of if you know type brands. I still hear them get brought up a lot with like, well, if you want quality, look at Loro Piana. And with all the like scandals recently of them going into like court administration for like bad labor practices and stuff, again, beating a dead horse, but like, I don't see it. Sorry. I just, they're another brick in the wall of the luxury machine kind of crumbling before our very eyes and not making any sense and still charging outrageous prices. Again, I know there's that customer for whom money is no object, and I think of them buying like Brunello Cucinelli. Cool. You want to buy something that is like beyond reproach, made with nice materials. Also, money doesn't really matter to you, so cool. But these other brands, like I see people talk about like the Row, like they were one of the more like attainable or aspirational fashion brands, like a Louis Vuitton or a Versace or something like that, or a Prada. And it's like, to me, they're more like that Brunello Cucinelli. I don't understand what's drawing them in so much, because usually you'd get something that's like a little bit more flashy or a little bit more interesting, and the Row is just so basic. Like even the bags, like the Row Margot bag, I'm just like, I couldn't pick it out of a freaking lineup. Whatever, we talked enough about the Row. I'm gonna shift gears a little bit and talk about, so again, someone asked me a question on this channel that I was tickled pink by, and it was like, hey man, you seem to be into a lot of different styles. Is there anything you're not into? Which is kind of funny, because I've been a little self-critical of my own style that's a little all over the place. But I was thinking about it, and the one thing that I can come to, and even this is not fully true, is like hypebeast stuff. And I say it's not really true because I've bought my fair share of Yeezys. I have lots of sneakers and Jordans and stuff like that. And I have some like genuine like streetwear fits. But there's a category of like hypebeast, like 2015, 2016 hypebeast that just has no interest for me. Like logomania stuff, and the apex of this I think is Supreme. I've never really gotten it. I could see myself getting like a box logo just to say I did it. You know what I mean? Which is weird. But like, I don't know, a box logo tee or sweatshirt or whatever has a very prominent place in like fashion culture, streetwear culture, whatever you want to call it. So in some way, I think there's like a cachet there that you might want to participate in and be like, look, I got a Supreme shirt. Isn't that cool? Everyone knows what that is. But beyond that, I don't know, man. I see people also like the brand is kind of washed, right? I mean, again, no offense, but like, I think even fans of the brand, like their favorite hobby now is to dunk on it. Like, Supreme sucks now. I saw a video and I was interested, so I watched it. It was a dude going through like the new releases of Supreme, and they have a lot. Like every season they come out with a lot of new stuff. And he was just like going through piece by piece by piece and reviewing them. And I was like kind of fascinated, because I was just like, who's this for? I don't know. Like, I'll show you what I'm talking about. Like, this is the new section of Supreme. And I'm just looking at like, here's this Gore-Tex shell jacket. Looks like crap to me. Let your freak flag fly. The Swarm returns. I don't know. There's always a thin line between like something being cool and dorky That's a video for a future day, explaining what the difference is there. And this is like, I mean, it's on this line, but I think this comes over to the dorky side. You know, I don't get it, man. The bees. And the Gore-Tex jacket, cool, $400. I mean, again, it's just not doing anything for me. Like design-wise or whatever, it just looks like it's a black jacket with a giant Gore-Tex badge and Supreme on it. And again, like this jean jacket right here. Again, if you love Supreme and want everyone to know like it's Supreme, this is the way to do it. This is the opposite of quiet luxury. But again, it's just like, this is a denim jacket with Supreme all over it. And if the brand is washed, then it's almost like a negative to like coat yourself in it, right? And then I see a lot of stuff like this, again, that has like very tiny Supremes on it, but like just like a camo jacket or whatever. That's like, you could get this. I don't want to say you could get it anywhere. Obviously you can't get it with Supreme on it, but it's pretty subtle on this one, kind of. It's just like, just buy a camo jacket from anywhere else that's probably made better. Do you know what I mean? I ask rhetorically. These are all right, I guess. It's a big puffer. It's okay. It's fine. I'm not offended by it. This flannel, it's okay. Supreme on the back. It's just okay, dog. I guess I've never seen anything. Holy crap. Wu-Tang. Okay, so the bees thing are a Wu-Tang thing. I thought that, but then I didn't see any Wu-Tang stuff on the other Gore-Tex jacket. Weird. Wu-Tang worldwide. I mean, it's ugly as sin, right? But I guess we're not talking about that right now. I kind of like that color scheme, at least a little bit. It's still in that dorky space. That's kind of neat. I guess I've never really seen anything out of Supreme design-wise, cut-wise. I don't even know if it's fair to say cut, because I feel like a lot of this stuff is just like blanks, you know what I mean? Like, is anyone buying Supreme for like the fashion? It's like graphic printed stuff. But I've never seen anything from their designs that I'm like, oh man, that's a sick graphic design. And I want to contrast that with like, well, let me bridge over to a similar brand that I don't get, Bape. Let's pull up Bape, shall we? We're going to shop all. We're going big. You know, I will say, I saw on the front page there, the Bapestas. There's some Bapestas right there. I do kind of get the Bapestas. It's a cool Air Force knockoff. I don't know. I guess I'm not super impressed by a lot of like Fugazi type stuff, just because like, I don't know, man. I sound so hypocritical because I love like when Rick Owens does like a mutation on like an existing thing, but it just like, even if I think the like kind of glossy Air Force One look of the Bapes is cool, I don't know that it's like a revolution. You know what I mean? These are fine. They're fine. It's all fine. But the shark hoodie thing, I think it looks terrible. I think it looks just terrible. I think I would probably, if gun to my head, I would probably go for Bape over Supreme, but it's still just not, oh my God, 24 pages, 720 items. We're not going through all that. But again, like in that space, when I talk about like designs that I've liked, like I think in my head of like Stussy, like the 8-ball, there was like an 8-ball sweater they came out with, and I was like, that's cool. And that's all it takes for me to get in. Like I was saying, like I want to see one cool thing that I'm like, yeah, you got me. And I've seen some pieces from Stussy that I'm like kind of into. Also, I've really liked Stussy's like collaborations. Like I'm still mad that I didn't get the Nike Spiridons from them. Those are cool. And the resale's not terrible right now. I should go back in. Archive fashion. If you're a big Bape head, tell me what you're loving. I think with like Supreme and Bape, a lot of it is like, at this point, maybe nostalgia for those moments when those brands are really popping off. But, you know, Supreme, a lot of it is like skater stuff and like community connection there. So they have built something up over the years that maybe you just like really like that, participating in that kind of movement, and you believe in what they're doing. Even though I don't know, I kind of feel like Supreme is just like a cynical cash grab type thing. I've talked about that with Kith too, of just like slapping their logo on things. And it was really funny. There was a case where they tried to like go after someone, like sue someone for doing something similar to the box logo. And was it Shepard Fairey? Shepard Fairey did obey. It was Barbara Kruger. I think Barbara Kruger, I don't think she sued them, but I think she was like, hey, don't you try to sue anyone over using this, because I could sue your ass. Again, kind of similar to Bape using like the Bapesta. Supreme's biggest thing, their logo, was kind of lifted off of Barbara Kruger, so I don't know how much points you get for that. Jumping over to another kind of subject, Hermès. Now, there's a lot to criticize with Hermès, but specifically I want to talk about Hermès menswear, because I'm sure you're well aware, Hermès, the Birkin, the insanely expensive bag that resells for $20,000 or whatever, that you have to wait 5 years to get. Because of like the aura around Hermès, I was always like, oh, they're like Loro Piana or whatever, Brunello Cucinelli. They're like for the rich, like the ultimate elite. So I'm sure their fashion is like understated and classy and elegant, and you know, if you know, you know. And then I looked up the menswear one day and I was just like, oh, this is hideous. And again, I said at the beginning of the video, no shade, but this one I legitimately think is bad. So if you like Hermès menswear, let's hear it. I mean, it's hideous, right? Am I tripping? I feel like I'm in the Twilight Zone. This hideous crew neck sweater can be yours for the low, low price of $18.75. My God, this $3,900 zip sweater, this looks like something Under Armour would make. Like, I don't know, I'm like astounded. And like, again, I thought it would be like understated, but it's like look at that belt. Their belts are like big H's, like they're kind of garish in a weird way. And so I started thinking like, maybe they're like you guys know the Hermès game where you like, your sales associate will sell you a Birkin, but only after you've already spent $2,000 there on other stuff. I think that's their way of selling their other crap products, because they're all bad except for the Birkin or something. There's got to be some kind of vast conspiracy going on here to explain this. And again, I'm just talking about the menswear. The women's, I'm sure it's fine. But yeah, that tripped me up big time. Again, $9,000 for a cashmere coat. Come on, guys, what are we doing here? And then finally, rounding it out, I want to talk about Philip Plein. Not that I don't get him, but that I almost don't get the not getting. Does that make sense? Philip Plein is like the lightning rod for hatred in the fashion industry, male fashion. Everyone's like, Philip Plein sucks. He is the Nickelback of the fashion world, the male fashion space. And I'm not even saying I like Philip Plein. I just don't understand why he is this figure that draws all this ire from people. Because to me, I don't know, I've looked into it a little bit. It's like loud and garish and like in your face, logomania, overstated, whatever. But there's a lot of brands like that. Like to me, it's kind of similar to like Jean Paul Gaultier or like Cavalli, or like at least just Cavalli. Like I've seen some pieces from him that I would fit in perfectly well with those brands. Up until a couple of years ago, I would say Amiri was like a very similar brand. They've been moving to a more understated space, but I don't know. People hate Amiri too, or at least they did. Again, to speak about like Nickelback, like yeah, Nickelback sucks, but so does a lot of music. Why are we focusing on just Nickelback? There's plenty of things to hate out there. People make bad fashion, it happens. There's gotta be a world for dudes making just like extravagant, insane stuff. I don't know, explain the hate to me. Those are just some quick ones I could think of, but again, I do wanna hear from you. What are the brands you don't get? And also, if you're a big fan of those brands I just listed, explain it to me. I think the streetwear ones I could make more of a case for. I'll tag on real quick. I kind of don't get Miu Miu. It's a dead horse at this point, but you know, with the Wisdom K stuff and $18,000 worth of clothes, like zippers breaking and buttons popping off and stuff, people are like fiendishly still going for Miu Miu and freaking out about it. And I'm like, let's slow down a little bit. You know what I mean? Like, what's it gonna take for us to be like, nah, I'm good. I mean, I say us. I'm not buying Miu Miu. Anyway, that's my thoughts for the day. If you did like this video, please do subscribe and give me a like, and I'll catch you in the next one. See you guys.